Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It is Cairo back with another video. This is episode number 2 to the Road to 10 Bill series. Lots to go over in this episode. I hope you enjoy. First things first, Big Game Hunter. Big Game Hunter has been pretty good to us in the past 2 weeks. I was able to get 2 Dragon Mattocks. Unfortunately, I was only able to record 1. And now that I realize that having Tier 2 Hunter Lodge, it's just a joke. I mean, I had a lot of double and not too many triple. I think I've only had about 2 triple encounters over the course of about 25 hours of Big Game Hunter, which if you think about it, it's actually quite lucky. Regardless, got a couple of double encounters, and honestly, it's a joke. When you have Tier 2 Hunter Lodge, you're able to basically run around and the dinosaurs can't find you for a year. It's great. It's really great. So yeah, decided to go back to Big Game Hunter, and we were lucky enough to get a Dragon Mattock. Now this actually happened last week. So last week, Dragon Mattocks were selling for 110 mil. Right now they're selling for about 90 mil. So they have dropped quite a bit, but given the fact that they are selling for 90 mil, it still equates to about 20 to 25 mil an hour if you are farming Big Game Hunter. So while it's still at this price point, it's still worth your time to do this as a money maker. We went to the Grand Exchange and tried to sell it back in the day. Well, it was a week ago. Tried to sell it for 108, sold it for 110. Big money. Now, as you guys may know, with the release of Archaeology, there was also new ancient gizmos that came into the game that allow you to use 9 components instead of 5 per gizmo. And this allows for greater diversity in the kind of perks that you could possibly get, as well as greater potency in the perks that you can possibly get. So instead of getting precise 5, we can now have the ability to get precise 6, and you can get precise 6 with equilibrium 2 now. It's a 1 in 50 chance. Pretty expensive. I think it costs about 600, 700 mil. I don't want to drop that much GP into a perk, so I opted for P6 E1 on my Saren Godbow. On my Pernix top and my Pernix bottom, I decided to put Biting 4, Venom Blood, Crackling 4, as well as Impatient 4 and Enhanced Devoted 4. All in all, I dropped about 250 mil on all of the perks combined, and that is why instead of being at 6.5 mil by the end of this episode, we are actually at 6.2. Now, getting the pestiferous components for the Venom Blood was actually quite annoying. You have to go back to the Void Outpost and talk to Commander Tur. And if you recall, you can purchase the Karasi Sword, which can be disassembled into pestiferous components. The Karasi Sword gives you a 1 in 10 chance at 1 pestiferous component, which essentially makes it a 5 mil component because each Karasi Sword is 500,000 GP. I was lucky to only drop about 3.5 by the time that I got 2 components, which was what I needed for the gizmo. Now, with a lot of money dropped into invention, I kind of wanted to make some of that back. I decided to go back to God Wars Dungeons 2, which is a place that I never really gave its fair chance. I mean, on release, I think I did about 200, 300 Greg kills, a little bit of Zeros, a little bit of Sarah, and a little bit of Zemi, but not a lot, to be honest. And I'm very happy that I decided to come back. You see, I got fairly lucky. At least with Greg, first 30 minutes, I was able to get Slisklean Essence. And this is why Greg is actually the best money maker when it comes to God Wars Dungeons 2. With a 100% drop chance, the Slisklean Essence is 1 in 64, and it costs about 8.7 mil. So it's very, very good in terms of money in general. Within about an hour and a half of that, so within the 2-hour mark, we were actually able to get our second drop, which was a pair of, not a pair, just a single piece of the Shadow Glaives, which was an offhand Shadow Glaive, and that puts us up another 7.8 mil. Now, if you notice something with my setup here, at least for my inventory, it changes quite a bit, and that's for the very reason that I still don't know what is the personal best way to approach this boss. But closer to the end, I got into a sort of flow where I know exactly what I need into my inventory and what will make me last about 50 minutes at the boss before I have to bank again. Our third drop at Greg was a Crest of Sliske. So the money kept rolling in. That was a 12.2 mil drop, I believe. And yeah, this boss has done very well for us, but we're not done there. We kept killing Greg for another hour and a half, so I think in total now we've hit about 4 hours, and we were able to get another drop from Greg, being the Shadow Glaives this time. So we were actually able to complete our entire collection minus the pet for Greg, which I think in about 550 kills is quite incredible. Now, the one thing with Vindicta that is pretty much the same as Greg is that I haven't really put in the time to really learn the boss. Well, not exactly learn, but at least do in a optimal, efficient manner. But then that's kind of how I play the game anyway. I'm not really chasing efficiency, I'm just chasing a good time. And a good time means casual, PvM, and making some money on the side. That's always a plus. Now, by the end of this video, we actually have about 330 Vindicta logged kills, which is kind of nuts given the fact that not only do we get one Dragon Rider Lance, we get a couple more that are coming very soon. Now, if you're wondering why my screen is so dark, it's because for the first half of my Vindicta kills, I was trying out this new skybox filter that you unlock through the reputation, which is Nightstone. It pretty much makes your game night mode, which is kind of cool if you're in really bright, shiny areas, but not so much when you're already in a dark place. About 6 hours into Vindicta, we were able to get our second drop, which was another Dragon Rider Lance. There was a lot of Zarosian essence that was actually gained throughout this video, but since they're 200 or so K, it's not really worth it to put on a video. Now, if you haven't noticed yet, I have been using the tier 92, well, the new tier 92 Masterwork Spear of Annihilation, and given the fact that this only costed about 390 mil and an extra 50 mil to perk, definitely a steal. I primarily wanted to test out the spear for its effect, which increases the times of bleed by 50%. This will affect blood tendrils, slaughter, and dismember. Overall, pretty happy with it. Saw a significant decrease to kill times, and well, it's been good so far, so I think I'm going to keep it. And yeah, anyway, I decided to continue with Vindicta given the fact that again we were chasing 100% Sliske reputation, and we were lucky enough to get our third Dragon Rider Lance. I want to mention something again, 313 total logged kills at Vindicta and 3 Dragon Rider Lances. The luck is just out of this world. So all in all, a pretty great money-making week. We're up about 200 mil in actual wealth, factoring in the amount of money that we dropped into invention. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching episode number 2 of the Road to 10 Bill series. This has been Cairo, and we'll see you next time.